Are you considering homeschooling for your high schooler, but you feel overwhelmed by the options? In this video, I'm going to reveal 10 accredited programs you can use at home with your children. Firstly, what do you think was the most well-loved accredited curriculum people chose? Liberty University Online Academy. But why was this the most popular option? Liberty got almost double the votes of any of the other programs I'm going to talk about today. Liberty offers a K-12 curriculum that is internationally and regionally accredited. Accreditation comes from the Association of Christian Schools International, or the ACCREDITED. High school offers live online classes for more interesting participation and interaction. There's 24/7 access to coursework to finish their work, and Liberty Online Academy gives families more flexibility in their home routine. On average, schoolwork takes 4 hours a day. If your child gets stuck, certified teachers are available by phone, chat, and email, alleviating the stress off parents' shoulders to know everything their child is studying. Parents can also set up an observer account to monitor their homeschoolers' progress. High schoolers can also get a head start on their future career by earning college credits while in high school. This is called dual enrollment. But the important question for this program is, how much does it cost? Liberty Online will cost $3,568.50 a year, or $361 a month, making this program one of the most expensive ones on my list today. But what if you have several high schoolers and there is no way known you can afford that price? Well, then there is ACCREDITED Academy, which comes in at roughly $1,700. Now, ACCREDITED has been around for more than 50 years. I did ACCREDITED when I was homeschooling 30 years ago. In homeschool circles, the name ACCREDITED is synonymous with homeschool and quality education. But don't get me wrong, they offer a very rigorous curriculum. That's what they are all about. ACCREDITED is accredited through the MSA, CESS, and FACS. Many parents like that video lessons are filmed in classes of real students, so their child doesn't feel alone in their online educational experience. ACCREDITED Academy uses a traditional spiral learning approach with physical workbooks and online teacher-led video lessons. This is called blended learning, by the way, the online portion and then the offline physical workbooks, just in case you want to notebook that for future reference. And ACCREDITED uses a spiral approach. That means you look at a topic initially and then you circle around to it later again, but you're going to be doing it in more detail and more depth later. ACCREDITED presents an excellent biblical perspective, and high schoolers will emerge with a solid grounding in scriptural basics. Regarding flexibility, parents can adjust student coursework to fit the family's holidays and vacations better. The only issue with ACCREDITED is that quite a few parents commented on the amount of coursework involved, and if you are studying the accredited program with them, not the unaccredited one, then you cannot skip any of the busy work because it needs to go through and be marked off, even if your child knows it. So sometimes students find this quite burdensome and it can ruin their love of learning a little bit. So unless you want to get credits by dual enrollment, which means you'd earn college credits with Pensacola Christian College, the accredited option can be unnecessarily demanding. Many parents said they actually skipped to the unaccredited version. I brought out a video last week about that in terms of high school courses because it was burdensome and they didn't need accreditation after all. Next up, we've got a program which is very similar to ACCREDITED Academy called the Academy of Home Education, which is made by BJU Press. BJU Press is a program I talk about a lot, but I talk about their homeschool unaccredited version like I did in the video last week. Now, AHE offers the same blended learning approach with physical workbooks and online teacher-led video lessons. Regarding Christian studies, AHE focuses more on a biblical worldview and critical thinking skills than ACCREDITED, which is heavier on memorization and drill testing. Like all online schools, falsely called accredited homeschool curriculum curriculum programs because homeschool programs cannot be accredited, only schools can. AHE, ABECA, and Liberty do all of the record keeping, transcripts, report cards, graduation ceremonies, and standardized testing for you. While AHE is robust, it is less robust than ABECA, so it may be a better fit for your family. Now, AHE is accredited through actually Bridgeway. Now, all of the accredited curriculum I've talked about today have been rather traditional, of the traditional educational method, the stuff you find in your local school. But what if you wanted something different? Maybe you want something more focused on teaching logic and rhetorical abilities, the ability of a good man to speak well. Maybe something with live online lessons where students can interact with teachers in real time. How cool would that be? If so, you should consider Veritas Scholars Academy, which is accredited with the MSA. Veritas Scholars Academy, or VSA, teaches using classical education, which is quite robust. This Christian curriculum offers live, online, interactive lessons where homeschoolers can get help and talk with teachers when they need it. They can also collaborate on projects and chat with other homeschooled students online. So it can be quite a social curriculum. They can also get dual enrollment, earning college credits toward their future college degree in partnership with Khan University. What this means is if your student completes a dual enrollment course with a grade of over 70%, they receive credit from Khan University for that course. A year ago, I traveled to America, and on the flight over, I met a very impressive young man, about 18 years old, and he was a graduate of VSA. I can't tell you how impressive and eloquent this young man was. You could tell he had been trained to think logically and deeply, and he'd been trained to really think about giving a good answer. But all of that said, what is the price for VSA? Unlike brick and mortar Christian schools, the VSA program has no single flat cost. Instead, they're flexible so that cost and schedule best fit a family's needs and budget. So firstly, you pay an enrollment fee of $580 to $700 for high school, and then you pay per course. They advise around 5 or 6 programs. These cost anywhere from $200 to $780, which would bring your total fees for one VSA school year to around $3,000 to $3,500. But they do strongly recommend you do a consultation with them before you go out and buy the courses. Why is that? It's because they find a lot of parents do a massive overspend buying lots of courses they don't need. And what that does is obviously makes a waste of money for parents, and it makes for a really stressful year for their high schooler who is just doing too much work and getting completely overwhelmed. I'll leave a link in the description box below for the free consultation. Make sure you do it before you buy anything from them so you don't get too much. Another accredited Christian homeschool program that is popular with parents is Christian Light Education. They offer grades 1 to 12, and they are accredited with the National Association of Private Schools, or NAPS. Christian Light's accredited Homeschool Plus program costs $310 for families with 2 students, making it very affordable. Students must complete most of their credits through Christian Light, but they can accommodate dual enrollment if families can provide them with their students' transcripts. They will then transfer credits and course names, but not grades or GPA. It's important to know that Homeschool Plus enrollment is a separate cost from the curriculum. How much does this one cost? Well, a 9th to 12th graders curriculum will cost $400 to $500 per student. Of course, like the curriculum we've talked about previously, this is an approximate figure because ultimately the cost of the course really depends on what your student chooses, but it won't vary dramatically from your $400 to $500. So far, all of the programs we've talked about have been Christian. But if you are sitting there and you are secular and you want a secular program, well, I'm going to talk about 2 options for you next. A popular accredited secular curriculum is Accelus Academy, which is accredited with WASC. It uses Accelus technology, which pinpoints student weaknesses and helps them work on them in a self-paced manner. This way, your student can skip work they know and focus on tackling concepts they struggle with. The idea is to make learning more efficient and enjoyable for students. ACCREDITED has a special needs program, a special STEM program, and an honours program to help homeschoolers get scholarships. This accredited program includes an extensive range of electives, which you can really take advantage of with the premium package. Studying with ACCREDITED costs between $2,000 and $4,000 per year, depending on whether you choose the basic or premium package. On the screen, you can see the difference between the two different packages and what you get with both. Before I go into another secular option, I actually wanted to talk about Ignite Christian Academy, which is made by Alpha Omega Publications. These are the guys who also produce Monarch, they produce Lifepack, they produce Weaver, they produce Horizons. These guys have been around for like 30 years, so they're very well known and quite loved. And of course, Ignite Christian Academy produces a Christian curriculum, and that's why I am just a big fan of them off the bat. That's because I really see education as a way to teach children about the depths and the riches of Jesus' love, his love for us. And I think Jesus offers us so much hope, and that's why I always go with a Christian curriculum. It doesn't matter what Christian curriculum too much, but just as long as you're giving that hope to your students. Okay, but let's have a talk about Ignite specifically. So this program is fairly traditional, but it's loved because it takes the pressure off parents' shoulders by offering flexibility and full tutoring support. Like many of the previous programs, you can earn a full associate degree through dual enrollment in high school if you study with them full-time. They're partnered with Oklahoma Christian University and accredited by the NCA CASI and the SACS CASI of Cognia, and internationally by ACCREDITED. Ignite offers accredited curriculum in high school for $349 per month or $3,367 for the year, which makes it pretty middle of the range. Now, another option I'm going to talk about next is secular, but if you study with them with their dual enrollment courses, it can be very, very affordable compared to the previous programs we've talked about. And you can use it to get into so many different colleges, including a whole lot of the Christian colleges like Liberty. The program I'm talking about is called Studycom. What I really like about this one is that for some universities like Christian Liberty, the partnership between Studycom and that university guarantees that the courses you take on Studycom transfer seamlessly and fulfill your requirements for your degree at LU or the other guaranteed universities. Studycom is a really affordable option, and it's a really good choice for children with special needs because they can work at their own pace. The short 5 to 7 minutes mean that students won't get bored with the information they're learning, and they can really learn in bite-sized chunks. They also let homeschoolers completely skip what they already know with adaptive learning. Adaptive learning is an AI tool, and it basically means they get credit for what they already know, as they should do, right? And like ACCREDITED, they use an AI tool to diagnose students' strengths and weaknesses, helping them target problem areas. Homeschoolers can also get 24/7 access to homework help with lots of tutors and online help resources and tools. I like that they offer such a vast variety of courses too. It's seriously huge. Many people say that Study.com is a really great way to fast track high school and feel they can complete their studies in a fraction of the time compared to other accredited programs. Study.com has a variety of plans. They've got the homeschool plan, they've got the basic plan, but then they've also got the college saver plan, which again, you get that college credit, which is wonderful. This costs $235 a month. That makes it a fair bit more affordable than most of the programs on this list. I'm gonna link it down below, and you can get 25% off your first month if you purchase through that link. Now I wanna mention some other programs that people mentioned, but they weren't as popular as the previous ones I've talked about. These ones include Bridgeway Academy, James Madison, Memoria Press Online Academy, Sycamore Academy, Enlightium, Wilson Hill Academy, and Preston Wood Plus. Now I've checked all of these. These are actually accredited programs. With all that said, you may be wondering, well, will I be using an accredited program for high school? The answer is yes and no. If my children decide to pursue a college degree after high school, then yes, we will definitely try to go for an accredited program and go for the dual enrollment option. And this is because we won't have to pay double the fees, because that's what dual enrollment means. It means that you can also enroll your child in college while they're studying in high school and get credit for that. But if my child wants to become an entrepreneur, perhaps they want to become a tradesperson, or they just want to work a simple 9-to-5 job, then no, we won't be going for an accredited program. It would be a waste of time and money. In my experience, accredited homeschool programs are just a lot more time consuming and a lot more expensive. They're more time consuming, as I mentioned, because they need to really show the organization that they've done the work in order to get the dual enrollment credit. By contrast, non-accredited programs offer a lot more flexibility. Parents and students are free of the need to complete coursework in order to earn approval. It's not just about learning when you're using an accredited program, it's also about proving what you know. So using an unaccredited program can make learning a lot less monotonous and more enjoyable. You'll get the same quality education. A lot of the programs I've talked about today produce an accredited and an unaccredited version, which are very similar. So you'll get the same quality, but at a fraction of the price. It's kind of like finding exactly the same product in a discount dollar store. And as a parent, if your child does want to go to college in the future, you can very legally and very easily make a high school transcript for them to hand into colleges, which always get accepted these days. I don't think I've heard of one of these homemade transcripts not getting accepted by the colleges. So by now you're thinking, well, yes, we need an accredited program, or you're thinking, well, no, actually, I've realized we don't need an accredited program. If you do want to go with an unaccredited program, then you have to watch this video that I did last week, which is all of my unaccredited programs, which are significantly cheaper, offer really high education, and are very popular by vote on a lot of Facebook forums. Go check it out. Coming, Penny!